All right, so now what we are going to do is we are going to actually assemble the box. So even though this box looks like it's all put together, remember this does not have any sort of constraints. Fasten, Revolute, Planer Mate, none of those exist here. So these are all distinct parts. They just look like they're put together. What we're going to do now is we're going to go over to the Assembly tab. And the first thing we're going to do is we are going to insert our original part. You'll notice that I have a whole bunch of different things here, and some of the file names look a little funny because this one says square, but clearly it's round. That was where I was editing some of those parts for you in the video. What we're going to go to, though, is the box. We are going to go to the box and expand it down. I'm going to build this from the bottom up. So I'm going to place my box bottom first into the place, click to place it. And then the first thing that we need to do, and this is important, is we need to make sure that this gets located where we want it to be, and we're going to put it kind of on the origin. So what we're going to do is I am going to see if I can get that tri-axis up. Where is it? Here, go ahead and pick green. There it is. Okay, so these, when you get those little arrows, these are kind of rotating arrows. It allows me to alter the position by clicking those little sun, I like to call them the sun icons. I'm going to Control Z real quick. The other you can do in all three axes. So this is the X axis. If I drag this arrow, it's going to let me translate or move left or right. If I drag this circle, it will allow me to rotate along that X axis as well. But what I want to do is I want to, if I drag, wait a second, stop. Okay, let's see. What I want to do is I want to find the center. So if I grab, okay, so see this center circle? I can click that and move it. And then when I hit the center of mass for this object, it brings up a fasten, or not a fasten mate, but an assembly mate, where you have those three tri-colored axes in kind of what looks like a Pac-Man symbol. I want to go ahead and drop that there. I'm going to right click and choose Move to Origin. And what that does is it puts the center of the piece in the origin. I am going to go ahead and align that with Z. No, I do not want to align that with Z. I want to undo. Okay, we're good. This is how I want it. So I'm going to fix this in place. Once I fix this in place, this piece no longer moves. Before you do any other assembly, that's important. One and only one piece really should be fixed. Now let's insert the other parts of our box. So I'm going to go ahead and do this all at once so that I don't have to do this again. Click, click, box side 2 over here, and then we'll do box top, and I'm going to put it kind of way off to the side. All right, so now what we're going to do is we are going to fasten these together. When I'm fastening something, so the fasten mate, if you hover over it, it gives you a really good description. This removes all degrees of freedom. They're stuck like glue. There's no movement whatsoever. Since none of the sides of the box need to move or rotate, this is going to be the mate that we'll use. So once we do that, it's asking for mate connectors. And you can see that little Pac-Man symbol with all the different axes pop up. We want to pay attention to the blue one. We want the blue one to be pointing up, and I want, so anywhere these connectors go, that's where those sides are going to stick. So I want my mate connector to be along this outer edge with that blue axis pointing up. And then it takes a little bit of maneuvering, but I want that back edge So you can see I can choose the center of mass, that little target. The black and white checkered target is your center of your object. I don't want that. I actually want this back white dot that pops up because that's where I'm going to get a flush fit. I am good with the way this looks, so I'm going to go ahead and hit solve. Okay, so now we're going to do the back. So I'm going to kind of move it out of the way so I can see it a little better. I'm going to get fastened mate, which is already there. I'm going to get that center of that edge. The blue axis is pointing up. And just for giggles, let's look to see what happens if I were to choose that center point right there. So if I fasten, see where those little mates land, that's where the glue is placed. So since I put that on the center, that edge didn't get flush all the way with the back edge. So I am not good with that one. That one needs to go away. And I'm going to escape out for just a second so that we can restart, kind of realign things. So now, if you're completely lost, zoom out so you can get your orientation. I'm going to get that fasten mate. I'm going to go to that back edge, blue line pointing up, and I want it to glue to this back line. But do you see how that blue line's not pointing the right direction because it's thinking of this side of the face. So I want to hover around. There we go. Do you see now how the bottom edge of my side is all outlined and I've got all these white dots? Well, those white dots are really good and easy locations for your mate connector to fall. So there we go. Click. And now I've got a good flush fit. Okay. So we're going to do this, repeat this whole process. I'm good with that. Grab another fastened. I'm going to go for the outer edge. There we go. Let's see. And this bottom part. There we go. Looking good so far. And now I can do a couple of different things with this top of the box. I'm going to go ahead and go to the bottom. Let's see. If I choose this side, that bottom. Oh, what happened? I know what happened. Undo. I forgot to green check mark it. Okay. Let's move this box top up a little bit so that it's easier for you to see what's going on. And I'll rotate around. Okay, so I'm going to choose fasten mate again. I'm going to try and get the top side, outside edge, blue line pointing outwards. Underneath, but that white circle on the edge, blue line pointing down. So that's where they want to go together. And look at that. So now we have our box. It is assembled fully. I cannot drag anything. And this is how we're going to add in some animation components. So that's why we are putting everything together in this assembly file. Okay, last thing we're going to do is we are going to bring in our follower guides. So I'm going to bring in my follower guide that has the quarter inch circle. And I am going to go ahead and click to place. And now I am going to use fasten mate again because this is not going to rotate. Fasten mate. I'm going to fasten the center of that circle to zoom in so you can see a little better. I'm going to hover around the outer edge. So do you see how I am able to choose the circle? And it hops over. Let's see if we did it right. Did we do it right? Yep. So it glued kind of on the bottom like it would. And hit solve and green check mark. So we are good to go. Now we can go ahead and add in some more of those follower guides. Let's see, can I copy? Let's see, copy follower guide, paste follower guide, nice. Paste follower guide, sweet. All right, so we are going to repeat, and I'm going to use the fasten mate. I'm going to show you real quick what happens if we do something wrong. So I need to make sure that I'm on that top surface of that circle, and maybe I get lazy and I choose that bottom part. Well, wherever those mate connectors are in the fasten mate, that's where the glue is. So you see that's a problem. That's not right. So what we're going to do is we're going to move that over, and we're going to choose the correct fasten mate. So this kind of inner ring right there. And did it work? Yep. Check mark to accept. And keep on going. Grab that part. That part. Good. And that part to the center. And we are good. So now we have an assembled box with our follower guides in place.